Yeah, what I like to do every day when I get home is just go on Warcraft Reforged forums and just try to find what's going on. And there's nothing ever going on. So people just say crazy stuff that nobody cares about. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to make up news. We're going to make up the news. We're going to invent the news. So here's what happened, okay? Today is a Sunday, so they didn't do any work. So let's talk about what happened last week at Blizzard. So last week at Blizzard, and this is let's go to Cityscape because we're in Blizzard, right? So basically, you have this office that's somewhere in California, right? And in this office, there's a secret cable of developers. Let me make this, and they separate into kinds of developers, right? So like over here there's one part of the office, and this is where they put the engine programmers, right? So we'll get the engine programmer. Okay, what acolyte? Here we go. Engine programmer. There's a secret wizard engine programmer, right? There's an so there's like all these secret engine programmers, right? And they're like all like over here, and they're hanging out with like a table that they have. Let's see. There's like a table. Yeah, the table right here, and they're plotting out like, okay, what's going on in the engine, right? What's going on? Like everybody look at the table, and they're like, ooh, normal maps. Okay, so they're all doing that. Meanwhile, right? So they're trying to figure out the normal map. Look at that map. That's pretty normal. They're trying to figure out normal maps, and in the meantime, right? You also have on the other side of the ocean, right? So let's get some dirt, and let's make this is the ocean. Okay, this is the ocean. Okay, here's the ocean. Oh, sorry, the ocean doesn't quite actually touch Blizzard Office, but here's the ocean, and on the other side of the ocean, there's actually. Sorry, let me just expand this out a little bit above the ocean. Let's see, we got to hit 96, right? Multiple of 32. All right, on the other side of this ocean is China, okay? And so, wrong button there. There we go. On the other side of this ocean is China, and so over here on this side of the ocean there's I don't know what they're called, like Lemony Snicket. I don't know, some kind of place where they build 3D models. So that's their big office, okay? And they're really excited because Warcraft 3 is the greatest game in all of China. So like, they're basically this is amazing to them. So this is Lemon Sky Studios over here, and they're still like, Warcraft 3 is a lot of really like they've been there, like Blizzard Entertainment. They've been there for years, right? All the people who are grown-ups, they're video gamer players who grew up, who originally made the company, and now they're really old, and they all left or not or whatever. But in Lemon Sky, like you have all these like excited, like hip, young, cool-looking people who just like they can't handle themselves how they actually work at Lemon Sky. So they all look really, really cool, like Fire Lords. Okay, so they're over here, and they're trying to figure out, okay, life is great, we look cool, we're gonna make things that look cool, how do we do it? Okay, so that's happening. Meanwhile, there's this secret cable of programmers they're just ripping code off of World of Warcraft, right? They're literally just ripping code out of World of Warcraft to try to figure out, like, the particle emitters. Like, they're probably inventing a new, when you go to an MDL file, right? Where's an MDL file? Here's some MDL file I had open, right? An MDL file, you're allowed to have a particle emitter. And when they're coding Warcraft in 2002, when that was happening, right? They were in a hurry. So when they made particle emitter, it wasn't good enough. So they made particle emitter 2. So right now, these new cable programmers, they're trying to make it that you could actually have probably particle emitter 3. Particle emitter 3 is going to be even better. It's probably going to be like based on World of Warcraft or something. And they're trying to change. They have to change the MDX format version, right? It's a whole new version. Instead of 800, we have to use a number that's over 9,000, like 9001, because we're the future, right? We are the future of Warcraft modding. So they're doing that. These guys are over here, and these are like, I guess I call them engine programmers, but really they're basically the graphics engine programmers, right? And they're trying to figure out the graphics engine. They don't really know, like, wow, that's complicated. And then on another continent, also separated by the ocean, You have the official Lord of Memes. Okay, now the official Lord of Memes, I believe his icon is a skeleton. So we're just gonna go get skeleton, or what is it? Dark minion. It's like a greater dark minion, but even greater, right? Like even greater than that. And this one is called William, but his name changes every week. So like this week he's gonna be William the Skeleton. Next week he's gonna have a different name, okay? And this is the Lord of Memes, William, okay? And he's over here, and he's really big, but he's in a separate country surrounded by trees. Nobody knows why. He didn't go to Blizzard because he grew up over here in the other country where trees are red instead of green, and nobody really knows why. But he's over here, okay, and what he has is a remote control computer, okay? Now, his remote control computer, we're not exactly sure what that looks like, but it probably looks really cool. So it probably looks like that. So he's got his remote control computer, okay? And when he gets on this computer, this connects into the engine programmers. So he can talk to them, and he can try to upgrade them. But he knows the game, right? He invented everything. He invented JAS New Gen Pack. He invented reinventing the craft. He invented everything. He's the greatest dark minion on the other side of the ocean. Okay, so he's over here with all of these, right? And he uses this computer and he connects to the engine programmers and he tells them what they should do with the world editor because he's like the Lord of World Editor. In fact, we'll give him a subtext on his name in a different color. What do you guys think? Blue? Let's do light blue, right? RGB. Okay, what's Lord of World Editor? That's his official title. So he's over here and he's making the world editor, right? And this is really good because what he figured out. I mean, he's doing all the important things, like you make the borders like dark theme. This is the same thing Hiveway is doing, because from his computer terminal, right? It's like the Lich King. In fact, I think maybe we should even use the Lich King to represent the computer terminal because it can connect out psionically with all the other people. Let's just put one of these right here. Okay, so it can connect out psionically to all other people. And so he's like plugged into the whole community because he has this Discord psionics. Like we need to rename, this is not the Lich King, okay? This is Discord psionics. This is his special power, Discord psionics, okay? So he has this, and this allows him to communicate with like all the players, okay? Now the players, they're these people, they're so poor, they don't even have calcium deposits, okay? This is the players right here, and we're gonna put them all over. Okay, here we go. This is players, and they're just like distributed like all over the freaking planet. Like nobody knows where they are or how they got there, and they're not even the same. They're not player 1 red. Like they're like different, right? They're like player 2 blue. Like nobody knows like what is the deal with the players, right? They're just like anywhere. Like, and this is what's great about this, right? Anybody anywhere who purchases a game can be players. So they're just like all over the whole world. So you have all the players all over the world, right? And you have like William, Lord of World Editor, and he has Discord psionics, so he talks to all the players. And so he's figuring this stuff out, right? You gotta have dark themed borders, you gotta have Lua scripting, okay? And this is one of the reasons you gotta have Lua scripting, right? Is that we mentioned before that this is Blizzard offices, and this is Lemon Sky Art Studios, right? And they're on separate sides of the ocean, separate sides of the water. But Blizzard offices, they actually have this guy, okay, that nobody knows exactly who he is, but he's Lord of Decisions, okay, and he's in the shadows, Shadow Lord. He's the Lord of Decisions. Nobody knows exactly which guy this really is, and he's there we go. He's the Lord of Decisions over here. I guess he's probably owned by Blizzard. Really, Blizzard is another team. They're not player 1 red. We'll make them this other player color here. Actually, you know what? I was trying to think he might be the larger file, but he's actually the smaller file. So here we go. This is the Lord of Decisions, right? And he's over here, and he's just in an office, right? Because he's already lived. He's made like 100 video games. Like nobody knows who he is, but he's definitely someone really big. And like you don't got to worry about whether the Lord of Decisions deserves to be there, right? Like this dude, like he has all the data. He has all the bookshelves. Like he deserves to be there, okay? You can't even comprehend. And he's Lord of Decisions. He's got all the business tables in his offices. Okay, and he's over here making the decisions. And he's like, all right, I made this game 20 years ago, and I've been playing it for 20 years. I played all the Warcrafts. I know all the Warcrafts. And he's like, what decisions should I make? And he's like, here's what needs to be decided. Okay, so he puts this on the scrolls, and anything that's written on a scroll, you have to follow. So, like, William is one of the people who reads the scrolls. This is Scroll of Truth decisions. Okay, and this is how they make the decisions. And basically, one of the decisions, number one, okay, is we need 10 million people who have World of Warcraft in their hearts, to return to this brand. Okay? The data metrics say that 20% of these people used Lua scripting to make add-ons. So the world editor must be Lua scripting so that they don't have to feel bad nor learn anything new. And these are one of the holy truth scrolls of decisions, okay? So this is just one of them, right? And he has those over here in the secret decision man, all right? And this is one of the scroll of truth decisions, but he has more scroll of truth decisions than that, okay? And this scroll of truth thing, this needs to look good, okay? So we're gonna give it a little nice little bundle scroll kind of look over here. So, and it's not lumber, so let's take the red out of that. Okay, boom. Now it doesn't have the red in there because it's a scroll, right? Okay, so he's got the scroll of true decisions over here. And this like is number one. So we need 10 million people who have World of Warcraft in their hearts to return to this brand. And the metrics say they have to use Lua scripting. So he's over here and he's deciding this, right? And so like William over here with his Discord psionics, like he can download anything. So he like downloads the scrolls. So he knows the rules. So he's building Lua World Editor, which is one of those under construction buildings that is never finished. It's like Arcane Observatory. So this is like Lua World Editor. And it's basically like a meme. Like he, with his Discord psionics, he kind of, you know, there's like foreshadowing. Like when the Lich King, like people kind of know the Lich King's going to take over, but he's not really there. It's the same with Lord William's Lua World Editor. So this thing's over here, and it needs to play the special animation because it's not ever finished. It's the birth. I guess it's birth. Okay, that doesn't look. That's weird. How do I make it? They did this in the campaign, right? They have this building that's like not finished. What's required animation name? Birth. Come on. I just wanted to show like the unfinished one. That didn't work. All right. Well, it looks like it's finished. We need to get it to look like that. Okay. Let's make it look like that. Let's do it, guys. We're gonna make it look like that. I mean, it's an under construction thing, right? It's never finished. So let's just go to, okay, let's go to campaign buildings, Arcane Observatory, right? Yeah, here we are. Shouldn't I be able to just like rename an animation or something? Rename, okay, let's duplicate birth. We'll call this stand, and then we'll delete stand. Okay, great. So now I have the never finished observatory. Never finished observatory. Okay, and that's my models folder, so we'll be able to just put that in here. Because the basically, it's never finished, right? It's never finished. So this is the never finished observatory. All right, let's get that one. All right, great. And of course, I mean, it's not going to be, because as soon as he would finish it, I would tell him to do more, right? I mean, obviously. So this is... Oh, nope, wait. We're going to save this as the true Reforged news. That's what this map is. This is everything that's happening in Warcraft Reforged. Okay, this is the Lua World Editor. We have the never finished observatory. Great. So now you can see that it's not finished, and it's not going to be. Okay, and this is Lua World Editors. This over here. That's happening, right? And we're doing that, okay, and that's taking a really long time, but it's being worked on by Lord William the Skeleton, Lord of World Editor over here. So meanwhile, like Lord of Decisions, like he sees that happening and he's thinking about this, and he has the scroll of true decisions. Meanwhile, another decision that was made, although he didn't write it on the Holy Scrolls, it was just he kind of just poked it out to somebody. Is there's let's see, there's this succubus called the PR department, okay, PR department, and this guy Okay, this character over here, they had the idea. Okay, this succubus, she thinks she's a programmer. So she's gonna, let's see, this is a custom succubus PR department. Okay, she's over here and she has like way more money than you think she would. Because, well, obviously she's really attractive because she's a succubus. So, of course, she has way more money than you think she would. So she's over here and she's like, all right, I know what we should do. We should make playwarcraft.com forums. So she invents this thing. Meanwhile, Lord of Decisions over here, he's just kind of watching. He thinks that's good. So we make Play Warcraft forums, right? And so she's working on that, and she's making this forum. And like anybody can communicate with this forum, like anybody can see it, but it's not that big. It's like one of those Dalaran towers that's really tall. You know how they have like the Dalaran, what do they call that? I think it's a destructible, and like trees destructibles maybe. It's like one of these like Dalaran buildings, but it's like really really tall building. Oh. Dalaran guard tower or something like that. It's like a destructible, right? Dalaran Violet Citadel. That's the one I want. We want Dalaran Violet Citadel. What folder is that in? Come on, guys. Dalaran Violet Citadel. Tile said Dalaran. I'm in Dalaran Ruins. That's the problem. Okay. Dalaran Violet Citadel. But obviously we need to rename this. Is this the Violet Citadel I want? Oh, it's actually not. Wait a minute. There's like a tower version of this. Isn't there? Because like, okay, this is your Violet Citadel, but that's not... It's actually not what I wanted. Okay, I was thinking about it. It's building. Building is the one. Okay, here you go. This is just a really giant tall tower, and no matter what you do, you can never see the top. Okay, there we go. That's what it is. And this building, that's just literally called building. This is basically the Play Warcraft 3 forums, right? It's this forum. There's like so much stuff on there. You can never really see the top. You don't really know what's there. And it's not that big, but it's really tall, so everyone can see it. Like, even these players over here, like, he can look over there, and he's like, oh, look, it's Play Warcraft forums, right? So it's this thing. It's a really tall thing, and I think actually it's probably the color blue. I think would be a better description of it. Just because it's, you know, like blue. Like, it's like a blue thing. So we have this Play Warcraft forums that anybody can see from anywhere, all the players all around the whole world, right? And they look at that, okay, and they try to communicate with it. And that's all their focus is on this, while the engine programmers over here are like, normal maps, right? And they're doing that. And Lord of Decisions over here is working really hard on his decisions. He just thinks this is funny. He's like, oh, that's pretty funny. But at some point, all the people, as they sort of psionically connect with this forums, they kept complaining that they think that there's some bad decisions being made. So Lord of Decisions hired this Blood Elf engineer and chose him as the chosen one to be the figurehead that all the people will hate on, so the people won't actually hate on the Lord of Decisions. So he's over here and he's doing that, right? And this is like Pete the Chosen One. We don't really know who that is, but all the people, like, they're just like hating on this figurehead. So Lord of Decisions back here can just like hang out and be like, yeah, we're good. And meanwhile, this guy, he just kind of feels bad, like. He's just like an engineer, right? Like he's not a bad person, but somehow he ended up here. So this is happening. So all the people are like hating on this guy. And meanwhile, like there's not even that much happening over here in the engine department. They're like, wait, what do we do with these normal maps? Shoot. So they're like, all right, well, one of the things we need is a really good campaign. So all these engineers put their heads together and they hire little Timmy. Okay, where's little Timmy over here? We got a lot of little Timmys in the earth. Wait, where's villager kid? Okay, so we get these. So we're gonna have Lil Timmy, and we have several of these. They're pretty easy to find. Okay, and Lil Josh and Lil Joe. I don't know. We'll just make some people up. Lil Joe. These are not real people. All right. So we hired some kids. Okay, and we tell them they need to make a campaign. Okay, and so these guys, they all come over here to the little kids, and they're like, "Hey, little kids. We need you to build the greatest Warcraft campaign ever made." And the kids are like, I don't know how to do that. And they're like, okay, well, here's how you do it, okay? Here's how you do it. This is exactly how you do it. Okay? Money. That's how you make the greatest campaign ever made. And the kids, like, they're like, whoa, what? So now they have all this money, and they have to make the greatest Warcraft campaign ever made. And they're, like, trying to figure out, like, whoa, how do I do that? So, like, they're trying to make like this great campaign over here. So what they have to do ultimately is they have to get the same thing William has, the Discord psionics. So they get the Discord psionics, so they can figure out how do you connect with the world and obtain again world knowledge connection of all the players, all the little skeletons that the Lich King can talk to get this knowledge. Because they look at these coins and they're like, this is a good coin, but like, think about this coin, okay? It's a bordered plane and it's a particle emitter and it's just a SLK entry describing a coin. And like, how does that make a campaign? That doesn't make any sense. So that's why they need to have this like Discord psionics, just like talk to everybody. Okay, so the team of kids, they're doing that, right? And they get really good at this. And pretty soon, they make the greatest thing ever made, okay? And this is basically the Arthas Stratholme mission Reforged, right? And everybody knows when you look at this Arthas Stratholme mission Reforged, okay, that this thing looks really cool, right? Look at what these kids made. That's like the coolest thing these kids could have ever possibly made. Look at this Arthas's face. Look at that neck there, HD. So like they make this thing and they're like, all right, this is Arthas Stratholme mission Reforged. And well, there you go. So this is kind of just how things are going. And these people are making these things. And then suddenly, all the people in this giant tower, they're like, shoot, guys, can you tell me, what's the news? What's the news? And Lord Business over here, he's like, don't tell them any news. And meanwhile, this engineer guy, he's like, can we just tell him what's going on? They seem like pretty good people. And they're like, don't tell him the news. And all the people, they just start to hate this figurehead guy. So they're over there and they're doing that. And so pretty soon they make a new scroll of truth. And this is really dangerous, right? It's a new scroll of truth too. And this is don't tell them the news. Okay? And now we have a second scroll of truth that says don't tell them the news. And part of the reason why this happened, right? Don't tell them the, let's see. Yeah, here we go. Don't tell them the news. Part of why this happened is because when these kids were building a campaign, the skeletons started to figure out that they were building Arthas Reforged before it really happened, right? So that's really bad, which is why Lord Business made this new a new scroll of truth that says don't tell them the news. So now there's no news, okay, but you still have this like weird problem that there's all these people connected at this big public forum over here. So the PR department, right? She gets to like half hit points. Like she's worried now. Like what the heck is going on? Because like this is just not right. Like she's like the really attractive PR department. Like things are just supposed to always go her way. And meanwhile, like over here, these guys don't even know any of this. Like they're just making things that look really, really cool. So now that they have the Fire Lord in this studio, they're like, all right, look at us. We make things that are really, really cool. And now they graduate from Fire Lord and they actually make the lava spawn level 2, okay? Level 2. Like they're leveling up. Like they're doing great. And so meanwhile, these kids over here, they're really excited about that. So the kids level up and they become heroes. And suddenly, like, now you have these heroic things that evolved out of the kids who are making this campaign. And like, they're really awesome now. Okay? And like this guy over here, like he's like, why am I the figurehead that everyone has to hate on? That is just not right. Okay? So he suddenly becomes he gets like superpowers out of this. So let's go to something that looks really cool, but is like deeply rooted in Warcraft. Like they added the Fire Lord, right? He's not the original, but like this guy is like the original. So now this is the new Pete the Chosen One, and now he's the Chosen One of like looks like really cool because he's like getting better about this. Okay, so he's over here, and he's like, all right, now he's really good. See, and he's like, suddenly this has happened where he has like superpowers and special colors. Okay, and now he's over here, and he's starting to get that to get his skills up. And he's starting to gather together his forces that are really epic, right? Of like, I don't know what those are. All right, some of these. So like he's getting really good. Okay, and this is just This is just how that's going. And you have all these competing forces, and somewhere, then you have this guy, okay, this abomination against reality who's called Monday. Freaking Monday. Who is this guy? Okay, and he's over here, and he wants people to care about him. And it's like, why are you named Monday? Like, what kind of stupid dork names himself Monday? And like, he's like the creeps, like coal colored, like just garbage. And he's like, I'm Monday. I am skilled at Warcraft, and you have ruined all of it. All of these forces around the entire world, all the competing forces are my enemy. I will only allow... And then nobody knows what else he was going to say, because he just died. Like, come on, Monday, what are you even talking about? So he's gone, and now we have these competing forces, right? And, like, they're all trying to figure out what's going to happen next. And so people ask us, what's the Reforged news? Right? What's going to happen next? Okay? And I think you could probably predict. So starting now, we're going to make predictions about what's going to happen next. Okay? Now this is all speculation. Like until now, this video has been objectively truth. Now I'm going to speculate. Okay? What I think is going to happen is these kids over here who are building a campaign, right? They're going to spend all the money building the campaign because they're really excited. Okay? That's just obvious. So that's one thing that's going to happen. I accidentally deleted their Discord. They probably won't delete their Discord. Okay, this thing, because they spent all that money, we're going to have like 100 Arthas Stratholme missions that are just like really great. Okay, and they're all equally great. Equal. They're all the same. See, they're all equally great. With a big tree in the middle. That was an accident, but sometimes a really cool accident. You know, you get happy trees, happy accidents. Meanwhile, William over here, who's just amazing, connected into everything, he's going to actually finish the Lua World Editors and find out it became something amazing, right? It's going to become like this Griffin Aviary, and it's going to just start pumping out. That was deliberate. Okay, that was deliberate. Let me turn off this gem over here. It's going to become this Griffin Aviary, and suddenly that's just going to start making these awesome Griffins. But each Griffin is a map, right? This represents the maps. Okay, awesome Warcraft map. So these all just start coming out of this thing like no tomorrow, right? Like all over the place, like no tomorrow. There's so many, you don't even know what's happening. And the great thing is, no matter how many there are, the system doesn't break. You know, not that many years ago, if you got this many Griffin-y things on the screen at one time, they probably would have all just crashed, but not anymore. So, like, he's just making all this greater stuff with better technology of, like, all these awesome Warcraft maps. And so, Lord Business over here, he sees that, and he's like, alright, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. It looks like Pete has leveled up, so now he's protected, and nobody can bug with Pete the Chosen One, so he's going to make some good stuff over there. And meanwhile, all these graphics engine programmers, right? What their whole job as acolytes is to give their life for this engine. So they're all going to turn into shades, because that's what happens when, like, they don't even sleep, right? And so they're going to, you know, it's like sacrifice. Like, now they're turning into shades, okay? And the shades over here, they see everything. They understand the truth. And meanwhile, right, and we got this, they're making, like, they've made this amazing campaign made of all these Arthas Reforged missions. Okay, there's all these awesome maps, like, seeping out of Lua World Editor. And then Lemon Sky over here, they're like, you know, you thought the Fire Lord was cool, but actually, if you get the Lightning Lord from the Hive Workshop, he's probably even cooler. What? Fire Lords? No, we just want to find Lightning Lord. Let's just search up. I'm pretty sure this was a thing. It was pretty good. It's not a thing? Really? Storm Lord? Thunder, Lightning Lord? I thought that was a thing. I thought it was like a cool model somebody made. Somebody always talks about this cool Thunder model. What is this? See, like that. There's like a Lightning Lord. I don't know. I don't get to see it yet because I'm not them. But they're going to make something because they like... You know how they had Lava Spawn level 3 before? Alright, we'll be metaphoric. We'll be metaphoric. What they have now is Phoenixes, which also look amazing and cannot be killed. And level 3 Lava Spawns. Like, they're getting really good over here making all these files, all these 3D model files. And of course, one of the problems is okay, with their lava spawns is they start to realize their model files have to have the correct run speed and walk speed. So they start customizing the walk speed and run speeds of their lava spawns in the unit data to correspond with the models they've created, which they're really excited about this, right? It's like young bloods, they're really excited. It's totally opposite of like Lord Business over here, who's like, I mean, he just visited his family on the weekend and like all they did was drink coffee and talk, right? He's Lord freaking Business. But these guys over here, like, they're just like hyped up. They're like, all right, we're making models. Like, boom, we're going at it. We made like 20 video games last year. Now we got hired by Blizzard. Like, we're the best, and we have even more of these things. Like, they're excited. And so suddenly you have all these forces combine, all of these forces combine until it just happens. Something really awesome happens. And so Lord Business says, okay, we'll make another scroll of truth decision. Okay. Make a new expansion. Okay. That's his new scroll of truth decision is make a new expansion because, you know, why not? All these look at everything happening here in the world. Boop. All right. And this one is not only is it special, it's a different color, right? Because that's amazing. We make a new expansion, okay? This is like Lore Business's brilliant idea. Like, make a new expansion, okay? Now we're gonna do that, okay? Meanwhile, this guy he gets metamorphosis to get like superpowers. So let's get let's see, yeah, this one. Oh, by the way, this is he's not evil. All right, let's see. So we're gonna give animation names on this one alternate, so that suddenly it's like boom, like he's assumed his true form, and like now he talks to the engineering team. He's like, "Now, my shades, okay, you did a good job. You made normal maps. Now we need an expansion." And the shades are like, "What, my liege? How do we make the expansion?" And he's like, "Okay, Shades, I'm gonna tell you what I think we need to do." He's like, "Here's what we should do. You know, in the world editor, you have 7 tabs, exactly 7." He's like, "Let's add more tabs." Okay, and this, like, Lord Business, he gets really excited by this. So he actually, like, gives a ton of gold coins to the minions of this guy. And also, more gold coins over here, like, expansion campaigns, like, okay, yeah, they're gonna make that. Meanwhile, the PR department, she goes back to full health. She's like, okay, wow, I went back to full. It's a percentage. Yeah, it's a percentage, right? It's back to 100% health. So she's like, okay, boom, we're back to 100% health. Her forum that she was running, like, now is expanded to, like, more forums because, like, all the people are just really hyped. And, like, now we have, like, more parts of these that people connect to. They summoned a Uther the Lightbringer, the most holy of great paladins. Okay, he went over here and he secured this little corner where Monday used to be. So now Monday is gone. Okay, there's no more Monday. There's only the rest of the days. There's no more Monday. He's gone. Okay, anybody who names himself Monday is gone. And after he purifies this area over here, changing the dirt into sun-covered light world where there's just no Monday to complain about anything. Um, let's see. Yeah. Now we have these rays of light over here. After he purifies this and puts the giant statue in the honor of how much he fixed this freaking world. Let me see. Where's this statue over here? Is a structure? No. It's a prop, right? But it's only in Cityscape. Yeah. Boom. Big old statue. What is this thing? Oh, it's a dolphin. Yeah, it's not a dolphin. It's like a big old statue. So, like, Uther over here, he fixes this. He's Uther. He's supposed to be light blue. And he fixes that. And he's like, all right, now that that's fixed, I'm going to go hang out over here with the PR department and just make everything holy again. So he does that. And so now, in this future, when you go to Warcraft Reforged forums, all you see is this cool stuff of, like, orcs and humans. And, like, there's not any Monday. So that happens. And then this guy, he's like, "Did you make them more tabs, my minions?" And meanwhile, they're like, "Yes, we did. We made more tabs." So for them, they have like, let's see what we got here. They made like, okay, fire. We gotta get fire gust. Okay, yeah. All right, great. So one of the tabs they made a series of tabs in the world editor. One of them is the lightning editor. It lets you edit lightning effects. This is like the coolest thing ever. Okay, let me get that in the cinematic. Obviously, this isn't real, so I'm gonna have to put it in the cinematic thing. Okay, here we go. So they made the lightning editor. Boop. It lets you customize lightnings in this game. Okay, now you have like the lightning editor. And they made the ground texture editor. So for that one, what do I put for that one? Like a burrowed crypt fiend. I wonder if we have that in like spawn. I don't think it's in spawn effects. What is that? There's not a spawn effect of a burrowed crypt fiend. Okay, we'll just have to make. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Ground texture editors. Okay, and this one. Yeah. It's like you edit the ground textures, like Illidan footprints that spawn out of models and other things like that. So now we have that on there. It's interesting. It just kind of faded away and came back. I don't really know why that was. It must be. Oh, it's just a fading and appearing thing. You know what? Let's make it use the actual doodad demonic footprint model. I think that's probably wiser than the spawned effect. Isn't Illidan footprints? I thought it was called demonic footprint Illidan, but I don't see it. EBCD demonic footprint. I really thought that was a doodad. Demonic. Footprints demonic. That's what it was. Footprints demonic. Alright, that's the ground texture editor right there. It's pretty much the same thing, but it looks like it has some variations probably, so we'll give it like some Okay. Still didn't work. What else does this have? Yeah, it has 2 variations. Footprints demonic base. Okay, this is something else that they would fix in Warcraft Reforged, is I would be allowed to put this model on here. So if you get it, if you get what's happening, right? Obviously, this W3D footprints demonic. This is just in the 2005 patch. They broke the game. Nobody ever fixed it. Where you can't make a doodad that uses this footprints demonic texture. So basically, I have to go to my Warcraft maps folder now, and I have to get ASDF.w3d, right? And I just go in this in Notepad, where I have the demonic footprints, right? And I just go in Notepad, and this is how you edit Warcraft. We delete .mdl off this. Boom! Okay, now that I did that, now I can import the binaries back in after I fixed them in Notepad. Yep, we'll replace all the current data. And suddenly this fixes the demonic footprint on the table there. So that's just because the .mdl extension gets appended regardless of, even if it's a dynamically swapping model that can't have it. So this happens, okay, and notably, the bug that we just saw also is fixed on this table by the shades, right? They fix that kind of stuff. They go in there and they fix this world editor program, so it's actually really good. And you don't have to export the data to binary and change it in Notepad. So we do that, okay? And this is happening, and they're like super hyped, like so much hype, right? So let's even put some hype on these. Like, okay, we gotta get here we go. This represents hype, okay? And we have like a lot of hype now. So like, let's get some hype in here. And we'll get all this hype, and then we'll put it in the air flying around. So like now all these guys, they're just like really hyped. They're like, oh, we're so hyped because like, look at that, we're making expansions. We added like the lightning editor. We added this ground effect editor. And the other stuff they would probably add would just be all the other tabs of StarCraft. But obviously StarCraft was too complicated. So what they're going to do is they'll make a second button up here. Like, see, I have object editor button. We'll have the advanced object editor button. It just has more tabs. But you don't have to open that one if you don't want, okay? We're not about StarCraft. We're not about that life. StarCraft, by the way, is a Zergling. Let's see, Zergling. No. Units. Zergling. Zergling. Here we go. This is StarCraft, okay? StarCraft, he doesn't even know what to do. Like, he's just hanging out over here. He's like, all right, I exist. He's like, I exist, guys. Okay, he's just over there. He's like, I exist. And that's happening. And they're working on, like, these guys, they're so hyped. They made this expansion with, like, advanced object editor and all of this. And then they're like, you know the other thing we need to add to this game? They're like, we need to add custom races. Boom. And all of Pete's Super Nagas show up. And they're like, custom races. Okay. And they do that. and suddenly you get like more races, and you get the ability to put your custom race in new folders. Like right now I can only put things in human, orc, night elf, and undead folder, right? But you get more folders, and you know what a folder is gonna look like? We're gonna look like this building. We're gonna make a custom building called folder. Okay, and this is what the folders are like. They give us new folders. This is when they start realizing that we're actually easily entertained. So they give us all these folders. They're like, okay, you can just have like over 9,000 folders. So like that happens, and they're so hyped about this expansion and all these folders, and suddenly they publish it. And you know what? Because they publish it, they don't have to deal in coins anymore, right? Now, no, they're gonna deal in gold mines. That's right. So suddenly you have all these gold mines, which you gotta have space for. So like, we'll put some of them over here, I guess. But like wherever the gold mines go, like they have to keep them in their yard probably because they have so much gold. Because they're like, wow, guys, we made this expansion, it added all these tabs to the editor, it made everything better, and everyone loves it. And everyone does love it. And so suddenly all these skeletons from like all around the world, like they all start getting really smart, right? Like they used to just be skeletons who are so poor they don't even have calcium deposits. But playing this game, like it educates them. They become great, okay? And they go from being skeletons to actually being the necromancers who make the skeleton. You didn't even know that that was possible, okay? You didn't even know that that was possible. But suddenly, like a whole lot of the players, they're like turning into necromancers, like faster than you can handle. And like, you know what happens as a result of this? Okay, here's what happens. All these necromancers all over the world, they get really powerful. And all of this, what happens, okay? One of these necromancers, right over here, he's not a normal necromancer, okay? He's a necromancer. Let's see. He's not a normal necromancer, okay? He's a heroic necromancer. Like, he glows because he's George the Necromancer, okay? George the Necromancer. Here we go. George the Necromancer, right? And this guy, he's right over here. You better listen to this part. You better listen up. George the Necromancer. Nobody expected this. Like, where even is he on the map? He's just over here. Nobody knows where that is. But George the Necromancer, okay, he has this idea that was only possible because the expansion of Reforged turned him from just a little poor skeleton into a necromancer. And, like, because this happened, right, he figures out, heroic, with his special necromancer powers, how to save the whole entire world. You didn't think that was possible because you thought he was really small, but it turns out he just got a lot bigger and more powerful. And that right there, my friends, this is the news. This is how Warcraft Reforged saves the world, okay? I'll bet you didn't know this was going to happen, right? Some of you, maybe you didn't know this was going to happen, but this is how Warcraft Reforged saves the world, okay? And you better believe it. You better believe it. This really is going to happen. This is the Reforged news. Okay? Thank you.